Good morning and welcome to Manna in the Morning. I'm Adele Tiat and I'm coming to you live from Tilbach in South Africa, as I always do. Today I'm going to talk about having joy in trials, because how we go through trials is really important. In James 1 verse 2 to 4, it says, "My fellow believers, when it seems as though you are facing nothing but difficulties, see it as an invaluable opportunity to experience the greatest joy that you can." While you are facing nothing but difficulties. For you know that when your faith is tested, it stirs up power within you to endure all things. And then as your endurance grows even stronger, it will release perfection into every part of your being until there is nothing missing and nothing lacking. That's a strong promise. And it only comes when we can go through trials with the right attitude, with joy, with peace, when we can find the peace and the joy inside of the trial. That's when it grows our faith. When we grumble and complain our way through a trial, we just end up having to take it again. So, and sometimes it's a fight. Sometimes you've got to really fight to stay in peace and stay in joy within the midst of trials. So it's not like this is necessarily easy to do, but it is possible, or it wouldn't be in Scripture to tell us that we should do that. So Romans 8 verse 18, Paul says, "I'm convinced that any suffering we endure is less than nothing compared to the magnitude of glory that is about to be unveiled within us." Now, coming from Paul, if you read what he went through, it was pretty hectic. So in our modern day tribulations, in a country where we're not persecuted for our faith, and our troubles are pretty sort of natural things, I think we have no excuse. If Paul can say that my suffering when I endure is less than nothing compared to the magnitude of glory that is about to be unveiled with us, how much more is that the case for us? So yeah, it's a challenge, but there's a promise of glory at the end of it. 2 Corinthians 4 verse 17 and 18 says, "We view our slight, short-lived troubles in the light of eternity." Now look, this is the same Paul that's talking about slight, short-lived troubles. He was shipwrecked multiple times, beaten like almost to death multiple times, stoned a couple of times, etc., etc. So slight, short-lived troubles. We view them in the light of eternity. We see our difficulties as the substance that produces for us an eternal, weighty glory far beyond all comparison, because we don't focus our attention on what is seen, but on what is unseen. For what is seen is temporary, but the unseen realm is eternal. And therein lies the key. This is how you stay in peace and joy in the midst of your trial, because we focus our attention on not on what is seen, but on what is unseen. We look at the character and the nature and the glory of God in the midst of our trials. And sometimes it helped me to think that one day when I get to heaven, I can have God show me what was happening around me in my trial, and who was watching that saw me stay in peace and joy in the midst of what was going on in my natural circumstances, and what difference it made in their life. And if only one soul comes to Christ, because they come to the realization that there must be a God, because it is not natural for someone to be in peace and joy going through the stuff we go through in life, whatever that may be for you. If only one soul would discover there's a God that's alive and he wants a relationship with you, would that be worth it to stay in your trial for a little bit longer? Because we're so focused on wanting to get out of the uncomfortableness of the current circumstance. But there's a weight of glory that is being prepared. And your trial that you go through, not only is there the weight of glory for eternity that gets prepared for you, there is a reward at the end that might be in the form of other souls that comes to Christ because of your trial and the way that you face your trial. So I encourage you today, fight for your peace and fight for your joy, because that is where your breakthrough lies. I love you, and I'll see you tomorrow. Cheers.